Buckle up, Buttercup. I feel like talking and being transparent, so it's going to be one of those videos. Get ready. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. As I said, buckle up. This is going to be one of those videos. I slept on this. This all began from me last evening. I was doing a review on Married to Medicine, and we were speaking about the importance of not thinking that your children are your good friends and discussing adult issues over your children. So we discussed that, and I said in that video that I would be probably doing another video that actually went into that, because I was definitely starting a soapbox on the situation. And I slept on it, and I rolled out of the bed on that side. You know the side. That side. So there's going to be some folks that are a little upset with me as we go through this, but guess what? Doesn't matter. I'd like to call this Out of the Mouth of Babes. Okay, guys, let's get started. Out of the Mouth of Babes. This is a whole, I guess, a parenting 101. Let's talk, let's get down, and I'm going to say what it is that I feel. And I'm going to say this right from the beginning. This is from James Colwell as a parent going out. One, you all know I don't attack other people's parenting. Your parenting style is your parenting style. My parenting style is my parenting style. And that's exactly what it is. We'll have to agree to disagree. I'm not going to tell you, well, that just isn't right. I just don't, that's not right for me. So that's what I'm going to say. It's not right for me. I'm not talking to my children as if they are my best friends, because they are not. They are my children. They're not my best friends. So no, I'm not going to discuss adults with them. I'm not going to discuss adult business with them. That's my thing. Now, if you like to do that, that's your business. That's fine. And I'm not going to say that you're not a good parent because you do that, but I'm going to just point out where problems actually come from that. And the only thing that I can actually do to point that out is bring receipts and tell you my truth and what I've been through and where I've actually seen that that is a fail. Okay? But again, before we get started, I don't want nobody down there in the comments telling me, oh, you said I was a bad parent. I ain't said shit to you. I ain't said shit to you. If you feel like you're a bad parent, you probably are. But that's not what I said. I'm telling you that this situation doesn't work in the scheme of good parenting, in my opinion. That's what I'm telling you. Okay? So, out of the mouth of babes. Let's get started. Okay. So, my thing is, when you can always tell if you pay attention to children, because of course I've run a daycare and I've actually worked in the school as well. If you pay close attention to the children tell you everything that you want to know and some things that you rather not know without ever opening their mouths. Okay? So, the situation that had happened was, if you don't watch Married to Medicine, you can go research. I have tons of reviews, and there's other reviews out there. But two of the characters, Mariah Huck and Heavenly Kimes. Mariah Huck was actually out to dinner with her husband and her daughter, and she was actually speaking about something that was totally not related. And then she starts going in on another castmate, basically calling this woman ugly. While you're talking to your, I believe Lauren is 12 or 13-year-old daughter. Are you kidding me? I said, that's ridiculous. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start right off and family. You know, I've talked to you all before about my family. And as it pertains to me and family, I'm really related to a whole fucking slew of real winners, okay? Flat out. I've learned a lot over the years. One thing about me, I'm gay. I've always been. It's always been whatever it is. There's always been an issue about respect as it pertains to me and the family. I also have a family full of punks. They're a family full of punks. So it's a lot of slick, sly, narcissistic, subliminal bullshit that goes on as pertains to my family. They're not really the ones to literally stand up and say, well, I don't like you because of this, or I don't respect you because of that. They're not those people. Now, see, that I could deal with. I would rather a bitch stand in my face and say, you know what, you're gay, and I don't respect you because I don't really care for your lifestyle. So I lack respect for you in that area. And then we can deal. We ain't got to fall out about it. We ain't got to fight about it. You said your truth, and all I could do is respect it. See, because what you think of me is not my business until you make it my business. Now, when you do all this little slick sly shit, and then it comes out, and then I say something, all that crying and whining, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. So this is basically what has happened with my family. I get into trouble because you all know I've mentioned it before. I have a book, which is my memoir. That book is actually available on Amazon.com. And I'm going to tell you some things that actually are in the book and some things that have transpired even after the book was written. If you want to see more about that, go grab the book. But that book, I wrote that book. It's been years since I wrote that book, and that book is still a point of contention when it comes to James and his family. People are very angry with me because I told the truth. I told the truth, and I personally don't give a damn. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, I have a cousin who, me and this cousin, people would see on the outside, oh, them two are so close. They're always together. Well, it was always, I was close, basically. We were cool. We hung out and all of this. It was really a thing. It was really a lopsided relationship. I was always doing for her and her family members. Okay. She has children. I've always been nothing but good to her and her family unit. And that is something that she can't even debate. She can't debate it. You can look all over Facebook and see it. You can look all over family photos and see it. And that's the thing. You won't see me in any of her family photos, but God damn it, you see the sprinkles of me everywhere in the family photos as it pertains to her and her daughter. Anything important that ever went on, we all know who dressed them. They wore custom clothing. We all know who dressed them. Hair, makeup, borrowed accessories, all of that type of shit. Okay. So I had a relationship with her, and then with her daughter, I have a whole special relationship because, again, everything for this little girl I've done. Homecoming, prom, shit. I custom made her dress when she graduated from the goddamn 8th grade. It's always been, no, actually the 6th grade. From the 6th grade. That was the first custom dress I did for her when she graduated from 6th grade, going into her middle school situation. She was in custom, and it's just, I did her hair and all of these things. So I had my own little relationship with her and all of that. Now, the thing is, oh, and she has sons too. I've done vests and shit for proms and all of, just always, it's whatever the talent that I had has been used to the fullest on this family unit. That's basically what we'll say. But where it really breaks down to, you're really only as good as the last thing that I was able to get you to do, the last thing that I needed you to do. When it comes down to the actual really working dynamic, there always was a lack of respect there. And I didn't speak about it. I didn't care about that. It doesn't bother me because I'm not a person that needs your validation to feel anything about myself. So when it pertains to her children, they are just what they are. They are her children. It's no big deal. Okay. But then as time moves on and these children start to become older, you start to see some things. And I'm noticing, whereas like with her sons, with the one son, I didn't really deal with the one son very much. And I've had to actually correct him as he started to approach adulthood. Excuse me, sir, you don't walk over me and don't speak to me. And this is something like, these are like little things that I start to pick up on as we're going on. You would never do that to anyone else in the family. He didn't have that too with anybody else in the family. I've never done anything to you or anything like that. It was just a thing of, it's a respect thing. I don't feel like I have to. I don't feel like I have to speak to you. And I've had to literally stop him because now you're not a kid anymore. I'm not even going to. And I would watch her kids as they would do. Even her daughter sometimes wouldn't say anything. Just walk until she needed something. Baby, that don't work. So of course the daughter's around me more, so she learned. She got her little knocks and pings. No, baby, that don't work. But I had to really stop her son and say, no, baby, you don't walk over me and don't speak to me. That doesn't work. Anywhere you see me, I don't give a damn if I'm not with your mother. Anywhere you see me, you will stop and you will speak. You will acknowledge me. If it makes your teeth fall out, you're going to acknowledge me. Because there's nothing that I've ever done to you that says that you get the chance to be disrespectful to me. For what? For what? So that's been approached. And then she has an older son. Now, I didn't really have that with the older son. But the older son actually has a baby. Hey, I've been good to your baby. I've been good to you. The grandson started to come up in this. And he has a different type of personality. We have this literal little boy who's younger than my oldest child, who thought he could walk over me and don't say anything. This is a kid that I literally took and picked up for school in the morning and dropped back off at home every day in the morning and the afternoon. And you felt as though you didn't have to even acknowledge me if you didn't want to. And I've corrected him. And I don't think my cousin really cared for it very much. Her grandson was something special. Yeah, he's special to you, but he's not going to disrespect me. And then this is the thing about children. It didn't take very long for me to realize it's the way that I am being spoken about in that household is why these things happen. And it came more to light when the grandchild came along, because me and the grandchild's mother are friends. So anytime in the presence of that grandchild and his mother's family, none of that shit happens. But when he's with my cousin, he would pull that shit out of the mouth of Babes. Out of the mouth of Babes. You could tell how, and then when I mentioned to her one day about her kids, I said, they try to walk over me like I'm not, like I don't even exist. And they didn't actually, the conversation with her and I came from another cousin whose child was hanging with her kids. And I had noticed it, and I had to correct him one day. And he actually is a closer cousin. His father is my first cousin. And I had to pull him and tell him, baby, come here. Come here. This ain't going to happen. And I know where it comes from. That whole thing of you thinking you can walk over me and don't say anything. I know where it comes from. It comes from you hanging with them, but you're not them. You're not them. Your father is my first cousin, and that shit is not going to fly. I had to correct him. I don't care if you don't like me or whatever. I don't care what your feelings are about me, but you, my dear, you will stop and you will acknowledge me. And that's it. You will respect me. You will. You will. Your father doesn't get the chance to not respect me, so do you really think that you're going to get the chance? I don't accept it from your father nor your grandmother, so not going to happen. So, but I knew, again, he's always hung around her children. That's where that came from. And I'm going to go even further with that in just a second. That child, like I said, his father's my first cousin. For the longest time, I was the only tie of that child really to the family. My cousin was in jail. My cousin was in jail. I was a teenager. I was friends with his mother, and I was the one who would have him strolling him around, bringing him over to the house so my grandmother could see him and stuff and all of that. He seen my grandmother when he was a baby. He saw my grandmother and was in my grandmother's presence with me more than he was ever in her presence with his mother and any of that, because his mother didn't be around. That's because his daddy was in jail. So are you telling me 14, 15 years later, you really think that you could walk over me and don't say shit? No, baby. That ain't never going to happen. I don't give a fuck what them people around the corner do. You got a whole different thing going on. I ain't never going to accept it from you, little boy. Not at all. Not at all. Again, out of the mouth of babes. Now, I don't know exactly what was being said in my cousin's house. I don't know. But I know where you were getting a lot of your shit because you was around there with the ones that was there. So we were discussing him, and then my cousin said, "Oh, well, child, you know my kids just think you're crazy. Your kids think I'm crazy. Why would your kids think I'm crazy? Where would that even come from?" And she just kind of looked at me. And what type of a comment was that? My kids just think you're crazy. And if your kids think I'm crazy, what did you do to straighten that out to let your kids know that I wasn't crazy? Or is it that you think I'm crazy? Obviously you did. I was like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. And I'd let her know I ain't accepting none of that from none of them. Yours, theirs, and nobody else's. And nobody else's. A mess. Out of the mouth of babes. You have to watch what you're putting out. Because I know you're, and if the crazy thing is, you and I are always together. I'm always doing something for you. Always doing something for you, something nice for you. So where is it that your kids would gather that I was crazy or that I was not worth respecting? You understand where I'm going with this? A mess. And y'all see, we already at 16 minutes and we're just getting started. So like I said, buckle up. Hey guys, thanks so much for giving me one moment of your time. I am excited to actually introduce to you guys my signature Milan Treasure t-shirts. I've been working on this little product for months and they are finally done and I'm happy with them. You can grab yours today at spillitboy.com. Grab your t-shirt today and I'll see you guys soon. Definitely for all those who have purchased t-shirts already, I thank you. For those of you who are going to purchase t-shirts, thank you in advance. I would love for you all to send me pictures of you in your t-shirts so I can actually post them to my website and my social media. All right, guys, thanks so much and I will see you guys soon. So, all of that being said, that's fine. Let me give you one more thing about that little part of my family. That cousin and her children, okay? Her 3 children. We actually have, as if it goes to the cousins, she is about 6, almost 7 years older than me, okay? Now, she's almost 6, 7 years older than me. There are another set of cousins that I am 3, 4 years older than them. About 3, 4 years older than them, okay? Tell me why. Okay, I live in a family where we have a lot of close cousins, okay? And when you're a close cousin, like the cousin I'm actually talking about, her mother is actually my mother's first cousin. Her mother's not my aunt. But I've always referred to her as aunt because there's such a great difference in age. And that's the way my family actually is. When you have cousins that are, you are the same age as their children, you've always referred to them as uncle and aunt. I literally only have one aunt. My mother has one sister. She has a brother that passed away. Those are my only uncle and aunt. My mother has a slew of cousins. All of those cousins have always been referred to as uncle and aunt. This is the way the family runs. This is the way the family has always run. Okay, let's go into it. Now, all of the cousins, okay? So, my cousin over there, she has first cousins. I'm basically a second cousin. But now, I'm older than her first cousins, okay? I'm older than them by 3-4 years, okay? Her children refer to those cousins as uncle and aunt. Her children refer to me by my name or walk around and try not to say nothing unless I made them. But I've always just been Shaft, or I'm just Shaft. They call me Shaft. They don't call me James. But I've always been Shaft, where everybody else was uncle this and aunt that. Okay? Never issue. I've never mentioned it. Though I've always noticed it. I've never mentioned it because it ain't important. Who cares? And I'm not crazy. I know it, and I know where it's a respect situation. Not a problem. And it never was a problem to me until my children came along. And that cousin tried to teach my children now to call her children uncle and aunt. Wait a minute. Bitch, are you kidding? How is it that you got kids that don't respect me enough to refer to me as uncle, and you think that my children should actually call them uncle and aunt? Are you kidding? And I hope y'all followed that. If you didn't, I'm not going to re-explain it. Run the video back. How is it that a person that doesn't respect me enough to put a title on my name gets a title on their name from my children when they are literally nothing but cousins? And I mean, real, like, there was no purpose in them. They're just cousins. So I was like, no, that ain't going to happen. And then had the nerve, because I never said nothing about it until I brought my book out. My book was released. Folks got to talking about that. That was in the street. People were like, damn, you know what? I didn't even realize that. Other cousins hit me up and was like, damn, I never even realized that. You are actually right. Her kids have always called us uncle and aunt, and they do call you by your name. And that shit is wrong. So once that started circulating, she had the nerve to actually get an attitude and told me, well, if you had told me that bothered you, I would have apologized about it. Do you hear yourself? If you had told me that bothered you, then I would have apologized to you about it. Which what you're doing right now is admitting that you have no reason to have an attitude with me because you did this on purpose. You knew it was wrong when you did it, and you're actually only mad because you didn't realize that I realized it. You thought it was something that had got over. Baby, we 13, 14 years into this, honey. I thought it was stupid and ridiculous way back when, honey. I just wrote it up now because I don't care. I don't really care how your kids feel about me. They just can't disrespect me to my face. They don't get the chance to do it. And neither do you. So that was just this is some of the dynamic of, because that is just bullshit. It's bullshit. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's a respect issue. And that the truth of the matter, you don't owe me anything. You don't owe me anything. But I'm only going to accept but so much from you. Flat out. So this is kind of what actually goes on. And I said, this is just the craziness. Just the craziness of how you think that you could walk around and disrespect a person and think that they didn't catch it. Because that's all it was. You were mad that you hadn't gotten over. And now you're mad because people in the street are looking at you with a side eye. And there's nothing you can do about it. So that's that. That's one sector of the family. I'm going to take you to another sector of the family. Okay, so I have god brothers and sisters, okay, who I've always been very close to. And we actually are cousins as well. We're cousins as well. But my god brother and my god sister have always, I have one god brother, two god sisters, and they have always referred to me as, that's my brother, that's my sister, whatever, like that. And it was what it was. Very close. They all have children, that are definitely older than my children. My god brother's children refer to me, well, his girls, all of his girls refer to me as Uncle Shaft and always have. Okay? Those are his girls. But again, they came from a specific mother. I have a relationship with her that's different. Her girls, Uncle Shaft. That's just the way it is. His son, I'm just Shaft. I'm just Shaft. That's because, again, his mother actually used to hang out with my god sisters. My god sisters' children just refer to me as Shaft. There was never a handle on there. No real big issue. No real big issue. Again, people respect you how they want to. That's their business. That ain't my business. I don't know. I never actually felt that it was like where with the other cousin, it was more of a malicious situation. I never got that it was a blatant malicious issue. It just was what it was. It just was what it was. And then now let's talk about expectation. Expectation. When my kids came along, it was always expected that my kids would call them aunt. It was never even acceptable for them to call them by their first names. It was, I'm Aunt so-and-so. You're referring to yourself in third person as Aunt so-and-so. And again, I don't think they've ever actually given it a thought. But guess what? You should, because it looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. Your children have been around for 900 years. Before I ever had kids, you never thought it important. You never thought it of those children calling me uncle anything. So why would you think that my kids should call you aunt anything? Expectation. Absolutely ridiculous. Again, there is a disrespect thing in there. Now, I don't think there was a malicious intent. Not initially, but just the expectation. You shouldn't expect my kids to call you anything. You should have expected them to call you by your first name, the same way your kids called me by my first name. Again, people. Now, again, and we ain't never had to really have that issue. It was what it was. I know it brushed the one god sister a little bit whenever she read it in the book about the other cousin. It brushed her, but she didn't want to touch it because she knew she couldn't win the argument. So she just kind of left it alone like, shit, I'm glad he didn't mention me in that. Just left that go. There was other stuff that me and her went through in the book. But I ended up having an issue with one of her children. She has three boys. Three boys. And like I said, they don't call me Uncle Shaft or anything like that. They just call me Shaft. But very respectful. Very respectful. Never a problem with her two boys. And generally, there wasn't with none of the three. Now, the oldest one was going through some things a few years ago, baby, and jumped his ass out there in the middle of the street. And it was like, whoa, hold up. Hold the fuck up. Hold on. Yeah, you're a grown man now. And you really feeling yourself. So you're getting ready to actually meet Shaft for real. Not your cousin Shaft. You're going to meet Shaft because you out of order, motherfucker. Hold up. When he literally, she's having a conversation with him. I'm on the phone. He knows I'm on the phone. I don't know what made him think that he could get away with attacking me indirectly. I didn't get it. I don't know what it was about. I hadn't done anything to him. I've never done anything to him. But he went through this whole thing. She said, Who are you on the phone with? Oh, I'm on the phone with my brother. And so he says, oh, and he mentions the actual, or my god brother. She says, no, I'm on the phone with Shaft. He's not your brother. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, where is this coming from? Where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? And you're literally, what, 30 years old at this point? You're about 30 years old. Where's this disrespectful shit coming from? He's not your brother. He's your god brother. And you're having this whole conversation with your mother, knowing that I'm on the phone. You know I can hear you. So you're being disrespectful indirectly. You want me to hear you being disrespectful. Why? You think that you want to have this with me? Baby, you don't want these problems with me. You really don't. So he went on, and she's like, wait a minute. What are you saying? He's my brother, like he's always been my brother. And she was correcting him. And, she did her best to correct it. And I was like, you better get that together because he's grown and I ain't having it. I ain't having it. I'm not fucking having it. I've been your uncle all these years. I've been her brother all these years. I was fine when I was buying Christmas gifts and shit like that. I've been that person all these years. I don't know what the fuck you on, but I ain't having it. I'm not having it. So that was that. And for me, at that point, I was pretty done with him. I was pretty done. It was what it was. And I really didn't care if we never communicated again in this life. I really didn't. And I don't know what was going on, but as time went on, she's tried to clear it up. Like she would jump out and say, oh yeah, my son told me to tell you hi, and this, that, and the other, which I really don't believe that he actually did. I really don't believe that he actually did. Once I got sick and I actually had my little bout with cancer, then things changed. And there's been times when I've actually been on the phone and I've heard him like ask about me or whatever. Like his whole demeanor switched. But I don't know where the switch in demeanor came from. And me and my god sister have our ups and downs. So it could have been very much one of those things. My god sister is one who really does openly speak. Her boys are grown now, but she openly speaks about whatever's going on. So she could have been pissed off with me at some point, and I kind of believe that's what happened. She's pissed off at me at one point, and you have said whatever you said, and they took that on, or that one took that on, and it was what it was. Not my issue, because again, at the end of the day, if he's 30, I'm still that many more years older than him. He is not my peer. He'll never be my peer. He is who he is. He's a child under me. You're just a grown child, but you ain't gained a day on me at all. And again, that's one of those situations. Keep your kids out of adult shit, because you don't want to be battling with me. You definitely don't want me battling with one of your kids. And if your kid is grown, you got a grown man, baby, we will battle. We'll battle. And you don't want that smoke with me. You don't. So, again, out of the mouth of babes. Out of the mouth of babes. Last thing here. And this actually pertains to my own children's sister. She was adopted by my aunt. Okay? Me and my aunt have a tumultuous, to say the least, relationship. And y'all have heard it time and time again. This child, I've been in her life all along. Okay? She's older than my boys. She is their older sister. She is literally 3.5 years older than my oldest boy. Okay? This child knew nothing but good things of me. I actually was really close with my aunt at one point. So I used to do my aunt's hair and all of that. And we had our moments. We fell out and it was like, girl, I ain't doing your fucking hair. I ain't fucking with you, period. You can go straight to hell. But before that, I bought this child her first Barbie doll. I'm the first one that allowed her and introduced her into playing video games. she would come to my house. She would come to my house and I would do my aunt's hair. My aunt played video games her goddamn self. She plays video games. She wouldn't allow the girl to play her video games. So when she came to my house, she just was like in a whole world, like, oh my God, a big screen TV and you can play on there. And I let her play. So only thing you know of me is a fun time and a good time. My aunt didn't allow her to eat candy. And my aunt's crazy as fucking shit. But that again, that's part of her parenting bullshit. She wouldn't let the little girl eat candy and ice cream. Every time she came to my house, I made sure I had candy and ice cream because I thought it was ridiculous. How the fuck do you sit and eat candy and tell a kid they can't have no candy? So every time she came to my house, me and my aunt be fussing out, be cussing my aunt out, and steady feeding the little girl ice cream and candy. So this is all you know of me. From the age of like 2 and 3 years old, he's the one that brings you the black Barbie dolls. He's the one that gives you the ice cream and the candy and cusses your mother out and tell her I don't give a fuck what you do when you go back around the corner. But as long as she's here, she's going to fucking play video games and she's going to goddamn eat ice cream. This is all you know of me. Then I stopped being bothered with my aunt. And then I see her again. Now I'm working down at the school. And I'm bringing, back and forth. The kids coming to the school and all that. I got your brothers. And you're seeing them at school and all of this. And you feel as though you could walk over me and don't say anything. And you're now 7 or 8 years old. Well, somewhere between 6 and 8 years old. You really believe your little 6-year-old, 7-year-old ass can walk over me and don't speak. Little girl, don't make me take my belt off. But again, I couldn't get but so angry at her because I know for a fact that my aunt is a raggedy motherfucker, and I could just imagine the things that were said in that household about me. Well, I know a lot of them because they've actually come across the desk to me, things that were said about me in that household. Again, out of the mouth of Babes, that child never had to open her mouth. I know what's been going on because you can see it playing out in her behavior. How did you even think that was going to be good, that you're down there talking shit about me? And I got her brothers. I got 2 of her brothers. My children, on the other hand, see my aunt, hey, because I ain't never sat over my kids and talked shit about you because I don't do that. But again, that's because I know how this works. Out of the mouth of Babes. So that's it. I've talked long enough. I think I've really made my point. Yes, when I was watching Married to Medicine, yes, that little situation with Mariah Huck talking that smack over that other castmate did get up underneath me a bit. I thought it was quite ridiculous. Again, this is just something out of my little parenting book. You can take it or leave it. It's just how I feel. And now I would love to see how you guys feel about the situation at hand. Leave it in the comments. I can't wait to read them. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.